Absolutely. So my name is Dylan McKenna. I'm the manager of event technology and broadcast engineer in charge. That's the title. But basically, all day I wear many different hats. I work for the information technology department, actually, which I think is a fantastic way that the university has sort of worked it out, because there are so many different folks on campus that need sort of that audio video style of of thing. So whether it's, the president doing a press conference or it's a football game, right? Everybody needs nowadays camera switchers, microphones, and live streams, right? So I think it's great. I've been working in Robert Morris it'll be 6 years in February, in a similar role as this one. And I've been all around campus for those times, making it happen, whether it's, like I said, press conferences, the football games, and everything in between. If there's lights, audio, and video involved, then that's me.
That covers a lot of territory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you give us just a broad overview of your hardware setup, your production setup?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start from the smallest and go to the biggest. We've got our a fly pack, which is what, sort of, if we got a press conference at a library, which was one today at 12:30, announcing somebody bought the name rights to it, right? So it's one of those, to any of the littler things that we've got. And it's just a rolling rack. It's got a Behringer X32 mix in it for the mixer. It's got a TriCaster TC1 in it. That's a few years old, but it does the trick. And with that TriCaster, you've got live text, to do your graphics with it. So it's got a couple of Sennheiser G3 or G4 receivers in it for a couple of microphones, and it's all in a 3 foot high rack with wheels, and you can take two people to put it in the back of a pickup truck and get it to where you need it to go, set it up, and there it is.
Okay.
For our other mobile stuff, we'll do football, softball, soccer, and lacrosse. We've got a partnership with Moon Community Access Television, who is the township that we're, right inside of here at Robert Morris. Jim Kempfinger is his name, and he maintains a trailer, and that trailer's got a Ross Carbonite for the switcher. It's got Ross Mira Express for replay. It's got a Allen and Heath QU16 for the mixer, along with that digital snake that can, as long as you got Cat 6 or fiber between that chuck, you can put that snake anywhere, which is really convenient for us. And Expression for graphics. It has a whole bunch of cameras in it. He actually just replaced his cameras in his studio and stuck the old studio cameras in the trailer. So our top three for football are Hitachi cameras, and they're the Fujinon 25 zoom lens for the lenses for the top three. And then we've got some JVC GY HM850 for the other three cameras that are, kind of our shoulders, high end zone, low slash. So that's our main setup for our mobile stuff. So that our biggest show comes out of that. That'll be football, including this Saturday. We'll have 6 human operated cameras, and then a couple of more slash cameras to give 8 total sources coming into the truck. And that replay is a 4-channel replay in there. And we'll do Big South football this Saturday. And that is, like I said, our biggest show. It's our most profitable show, I'll say, like the most revenue generating show that we do.
Okay.
In the UPMC Event Center is the other spot we got. So we just opened the Event Center in 2019 was its first show. And when we built the building, we set some money aside for a production room. So in the production room, we've got a Carbonite again, Expression as well. And then we've got the New Tech 3Play in here for replay. As far as audio, we kind of combined the video portions of it with the audio portions that were originally built for the house, right? But when we did the house sound system, a Digico S21 went in there. And we actually just split it right down the middle as 2 sets of 8 faders, right, on 4 or 5 layers, however many you want. Left side we set up that does the house, right? And you only need a few sources for the house. You need a PA microphone, a DJ, the Daktronics board playing, videos, ads, intro videos, all that. So we can kind of fit that on one channel or one set of 8 faders. And then we use the other side of the console for all of our television sources. So one person kind of sits there at that Digico out on the deck and sort of mixes the house, and then also mixes the television side of it for our basketball and volleyball games. We'll also do a couple of shows where we have, like yesterday, for example, we had soccer all the way out on our soccer field. We didn't have the availability of the big truck. So we set up a couple cameras and route some fiber optic back to the event center, and we'll operate some smaller shows out of the event center control room. So that's the basic rig of what we got going on here at Robert Morris. We're extremely lucky to have what we do have in comparison to some of the other schools in our conferences. So yeah, that's the basics of what we got going on.
Sounds like you got a pretty good setup there.
Yeah.
So you are going to local television and then streaming, is that correct?
The vast majority of our athletic stuff goes out on ESPN Plus.
Okay.
So they send us an encoder. We've got it hooked up here in the event center, and so that's the vast majority of where our stuff goes. Last year, we did a couple of simulcasted stuff to some local TV with basketball, but 99.9% of our stuff is either on ESPN or YouTube.
Okay. You talked about cameras and switchers. Are there any, from speaking strictly of a video side, are there any specific challenges that you've faced and or are facing, and how have you addressed those?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest challenge of our entire deal is that we're a small school, right? We're a small mid-major, and mid-major universities around the country are struggling right now since the pandemic and all that good stuff. So I think the biggest challenge that we face, and I think a lot of people face, a lot of schools in our conference and at our size, is budgets, right? Like keeping this stuff upgraded, keeping it running, keeping gas in the tank is tough. When you've got to write a paragraph in order to get a roll of gaff tape, imagine when you need a new switcher, right? So, that I think is the biggest challenge, is just convincing the folks that write the checks, to like, hey, these are the things that we need in order to keep us running and to get better, right? Well, you did a great job last season. Why can't you do the same thing this season, right? That's sort of the mindset. So it's a constant battle of, all right, well, I know I can get through with this thing. I know that I'm going to need this thing here soon. So let's start talking about that now. So hopefully next year we can have some investment. So I think that's probably the most major challenge. And then along with that, right, is crewing, so like I just put our crew list out for a few days ago for our Saturday football game, and there's 21 names on it, right? And 17 of those names are students. And so, trying to put the best possible show out that you can when you're paying $50 and a piece of pizza to your camera operators, right? So that, and you get what you get out of that, as opposed to paying $250 or $350 for union work, right? Well, that's what we got. We got $50 and some chicken tenders. So it's like those are challenges, absolutely. But at the same time as that being a challenge, it's an opportunity for us to enlighten or show the students that this is an industry that you can get into, right? And I tell all of them all the time, I've got an email list with 72 students on it that I email all the time, and hopefully I get my 15 that I need for football or whatever. And I say, listen, if you can be whatever major you want to be in, right? But I say, like, as long as people are playing sports, other people are going to want to watch that on TV. So this is an industry that you can get into, and you can start making a lot of money at it pretty quickly. We've got a solid pipeline here at Robert Morris from students that start working with us, and then they will head to AT&T Sportsnet. They'll head to Channel 11. WPXI is our local NBC affiliate. They'll head to the University of Pittsburgh, who's got the ACC Sportsnet and all that stuff. So that have some bigger opportunities and some bigger gear and a little more cash to pay their crew, right? So yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge, at our level is money and trying to keep the status quo with what we've got and try to keep updated, try to keep gas in the tank.
Okay. So more financial than technical.
Yeah, like I said, I think we're really lucky. I've been doing some work for some other local schools in our conference that have, they're trying to do the same exact show we are as far as basketball, for example, and they've got, this 7-year-old rack with a TriCaster and a 3-play in it that, is in this box that somebody built 7 years ago that has a Mid-Atlantic fan on the top of it. And they sent me a picture last night and it was at 97 degrees and the thing shut off. And I'm like, well, we don't have that problem. So there's certainly, I think we got lucky when we built the event center that we were able to set some money aside for this. We're extremely lucky to have the partnership we do with Moon Community Access Television in order to have access to that trailer. And the old gear, is still working, so we can haul that around and do library naming press conferences. So yeah, I think that we'll have more technical challenges in the future, right? As this stuff gets older, that we were able to buy, just 3 or 4 years ago. So I think that if we were to have this conversation in 5 years, it might be a little bit different. But right now, yeah, I think it's more of just forthcoming. It will be technical because of today's financial trouble.
Right. The technology keeps moving on, whether your budget does or not.
Correct. Right.
All right. So I normally ask, what would your perfect equipment setup look like? But it sounds like you're pretty close to where you want to be.
Yeah, we're close. The replay in our mobile truck it's only a 4-channel, right? And we've got 8 cameras rolling in, so that's the sort of a challenge that we have there. The Ross expressions that are in both locations are older models, single channel expressions, right? So those are the things that we could definitely probably look at getting upgrades on here soon. That would be sort of the next thing on my list. So yeah, and then audio wise is really a challenge for us, right? And I think especially like football, right? And as you guys, you guys are the manufacturer of the things that you see on the side of the football field, right? And we don't have any of that, mostly because I've got 17 other positions that I need to crew before I can afford to put somebody standing there with a microphone on the sideline, right? But if I were ever to get there, that'd be something that would be definitely awesome for us, because at the moment we stick a shotgun mic at the 50-yard line up on a mic stand, and there it is. That's our crowd audio, which is less than ideal. And then, in fact, when we do get monitored by ESPN for our football broadcast, that's usually something on the list, is your crowd noise is lacking. And there's 2 parts to every show, the video and then the audio, right? And our audio, we're challenged with that from capturing that nat sound, capturing that sort of stuff. You can hear our announcers great. They've got some nice Sennheiser headsets on, but you can't hear anything else besides this thunderous roar of whatever's happening right in front of that shotgun mic.
Right.
So yeah, that's sort of where we're at with that whole thing as well.
Okay. Well, obviously we'll talk offline. I think may have some options to help you out, but I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me this morning. I know you're busy with other projects, but thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. It was great to meet you, and good luck with the whole production, and we'll talk soon.